everybody, it's Lora here and welcome to the second installment in my cooking demonstrations. As I hinted in the first series, we are heading to Italy and Tuscany today. So I'm going to actually be making some mushroom risotto for you. So let's just kind of give you an idea of an overview of the ingredients. So of course, number one, we're going to need some arborio rice, right? So I've just got some President's Choice rice, but as long as it's the arborio rice, that's perfect for your risotto. We are making mushroom risotto, so I've picked up some cremini mushrooms and just given them a little rinse. We also have onion, so I've just diced up an onion there. We have, of course, extra virgin olive oil, some chicken broth. You can use vegetable broth as well. Some wine, because it's Italy, we can't not have wine in our cooking. And of course, a little bit of garlic. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with the first part of the demonstration. Okay, so first we're going to throw some olive oil into the pan and we're going to let that heat up. Can't have too much olive oil. Give that a little swirl around there. And while we're letting the olive oil heat up, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some chicken broth into a large pot and we're just going to warm that up and put some garlic in. We're going to take 3 garlic cloves, and we have my little handy dandy garlic mincer here. Go ahead and throw some garlic into the pan. Already starting to hear the olive oil sizzle. All right, can never have too much garlic. Okay, so that's going to go ahead and get started there. Next, I'm going to go ahead and throw some onion in. All right, so we're going to go ahead and let that get browned up. I'm going to go ahead and add the mushrooms in now as well, because we want to get those nicely cooked up before we go ahead and put the rice in. So while we're waiting for the mushrooms and the onions to simmer down, we'll just go ahead and put the lid on just to give it a little bit of time. Usually takes about 5 minutes or so to get it ready to go. So we have the mushrooms, you can see, and the onions are nicely browned up here. And now we're going to go ahead and add our risotto. So what we're going to do here is we're going to throw that in here and let that get a little bit browned up as well. So we're going to just saute that up and give that about a minute or so to go ahead and get browned up. So you know when it's ready to go, when you'll see that there's little white dots on the risotto, and that's when you know that it's perfectly brown. So it really doesn't take long at all. So next we're going to go ahead and we're going to throw a little bit of wine in here and let that get absorbed up into the risotto. All right, there we go. So about a cup of wine. Go ahead and saute that up and you'll see it starts to boil up. Can't ever do Italian cooking without wine. And while that's going and getting absorbed, we'll see that our chicken broth here has actually started to boil. So we're going to go ahead and reduce the heat on this, because as we're making our risotto, we are going to go ahead and add this in a ladle at a time until our risotto is just nicely firm, but not too soft. So you can see here that the rice has now absorbed up the wine. So we're going to go ahead now and we're going to start adding some of the broth into our risotto. We're going to add 1 ladle of broth at a time. Let that get absorbed into our risotto. It's coming along quite nicely. And we're just going to go ahead and continue to repeat that process until we get it to the consistency that we're looking for. So if you've never had a chance to try risotto before, you'll notice that it is a lot of really a different consistency than what you normally think of when you think of rice. It's much creamier, it's much richer. I can tell you this kitchen smells absolutely to die for right now. It's a great to have just on its own, but it's also a lovely side dish. So you can pair this with chicken, you can pair it with pork. There's so many different varieties and ways that you can prepare your risotto. Okay, so our Parmesan cheese is going to be going into our mushroom risotto now. Our risotto is just perfect. As I say, it's not supposed to be really soft, it's supposed to still be firm. So we've taken it off the heat and we're going to go ahead, and I have some fresh grated Parmesan here. We're going to go ahead and put some of that in there and give that a little stir, melt it into our risotto. And I'll be back with our finished product in just a few moments. our finished product. We have our mushroom risotto. Add a little bit of extra grated Parmesan on the top, some parsley to decorate, and also just a smidge of truffle oil, fresh from Tuscany. Buon appetito, everybody. See you next time.